going on, everybody? It's Investigator Jay. I'm here with Investigator Daryl, and we're standing underneath the bridge where the legend of the bride is supposed to appear. So Daryl, tell me this. You grew up in this neighborhood, you know all about this area. What's going on, dude?
Well, okay, let's get to our first story. Let's go with the car one first, all right? Back when I was really young and we were coming down here for vacations and stuff, going to the Lake of the Ozarks and Ponditar, all that. There was an accident, but it wasn't here. It wasn't in this creek bed, all right? It actually happened over a highway. But can't remember, it actually had a creek or a river under it. But the people either in the car or the oncoming car, that one of them caused the accident, the other one went to swerve off and dove off the edge of the bridge, killing them. Okay, so that's the car one. Now, with that being said, the next one will go with the carriage. Carriages turning over and killing them. Alright? And that's the only way a person would die from that is if they were on the outside and the carriage flipped on. They're a box on wheels. They don't really roll unless they have the big iron cage that holds a canopy in place that allows travel undercover. But so it's not really going to possibly happen. And plus, there's a fail-safe on carriages. When the carriage starts tipping or the animals start getting out of hand, they pull this rope and it pulls a pin and the animal takes off. Now, what's supposed to happen is either the carriage rolls while the guy's holding the brake, or it tips over on its side. The most you're going to come out of this is with a mild concussion or broken arm, broken leg. Okay. Now, if you're on a edge like this, you're still going to survive that fall, because we're only talking half a story fall here. So you're still going to survive this fall. And even at that time, this would have been waist deep to an adult, so they still wouldn't even have drowned. They could have just got their feet up underneath them, because this area was not a rushing river area. It hasn't been since '93. Now, with that being said, the highwaymen robbing the bride and her falling to her death. Again, she's gonna get maybe a mild concussion, a sprained hand, leg, or something of that nature, but she's going to survive the fall. This area is not no 8-foot drop. We're not even talking about a one-story building. One-story building, someone can actually die from. This ain't gonna happen. And another thing is, once again, we're talking about a body of water. It didn't really have any rocks or anything. And when you look at how they got this designed, you'll see they put a divider in to kind of break up the water. Okay? So it already tells you when they did that this area didn't really have any boulders, rocks, or anything in the creek. So it would have been an easy landing, and the person could have just hid right on the edge, waited for the highwaymen to leave. So the only true way they would have killed the highwaymen, would have killed her, is if they actually killed her and just threw her corpse into the water, and it would wash maybe 5 feet down the road. The current wasn't that strong, okay? The only time I have ever seen the strong currents was back in 1993 when Missouri had a lot of flooding. And anybody that knows it can look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. St. Louis St. Charles got flooded out in 93 a lot. Kansas City got flooded out in 93. There was a lot of places that got heavily hit in 1993's flood of Missouri because we just had a super rainy year that year. So unfortunately, when you look at all this and having me being part of this, all these stories are fake, okay? And you can talk to the locals. None of the locals have ever heard of this story or this haunt. And the biggest issue, so the only place this thing is extremely haunted on is the internet. That's it. So, with that being said, because I mean, you can talk to the locals. They'll tell you, no, I never heard of that. What are you talking about? Doesn't even make sense. And they'll even tell you that. So with that being said, there it is. Sorry, this wasn't a real haunt. This never has been a haunt. It's a beautiful park. Let it stay that way. You're going to have kids do their vandalism stuff. People are going to do people. But in this situation, you guys are just scaring yourselves. What are we doing here, Jay?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Let's expose the bride under the bridge.
All right.
What do you say?
I'm game.
All right, do a pan on the camera.
All right.
And tell me, do you see anything like a bride?
No, I just see a lot of graffiti and paint on the walls, dude.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Turn off the light and see what happens.
All right. Okay, we got the light off.
Okay, now pan the camera over here. What does it look like to you? Does it look like somebody standing right there?
Yep, and it looks like they're raising their petticoat skirt thing up.
Well, what does that tell you?
I would say it's an optical illusion. What would you call that?
I call that, like you just called it, an optical illusion, and there's no bride under the bridge. Sorry to say.
Oh, there it is, guys.
All right, let's go do the exit video and get out of here. What do you say?
I'm game.
Cool. Stay tuned, guys.